Hey, no, no. Okay, maybe. Uh, Hi guys. I'm waiting for for our main guests for tonight to join the live. So we have a slot for an extra panelist. So if you're interested in joining the conversation, just let me know, and we'll take it from there. No, no. Can I invite you to join? Just let me know, and I'll take it from there. Labake. Oh, yo. Let me see.
Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm already in my PJs.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I assume it's 9 p.m. over there.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
8 p.m. here. No, no, no. Hi, nice to have you on the live. Lulu, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. How was the day? And how was your shoot?
It took very long. Very
Yes,
tired.
sorry. And I know it's much later over there than it is over here. So yeah, thanks. I know special commendation for you. We're supposed to be joined by Simba as well, but I mean, I think she's in between flights. She's connecting flights, but she will join us um in the course of the program. So yeah, nice to have you guys here. So I'll just go straight into it. Um, Lule, let me start with you. Let me give you background especially for the people joining in. Um, I am Nigerian. Lule is from South Africa. Nono is from South Africa as well, if I'm correct.
Uh-huh.
And Namibia.
Oh, you're from Namibia. Okay, good, good. So we have some diversity in that regard. So
Yeah.
basically, so something I am Nigerian, and I travel a lot across Africa, and part of what it is I get to experience and hear people say is about how bad Nigerians behave, especially when they are not in Nigeria, and especially when they live among you. There is the conversation, there's the general talk, especially in South Africa, about how rude Nigerians are and about how much and all of that. Really is already, So, but I'm thinking. So the question then is this justified? Is this something? Can we say it's a bias against Nigerians, especially from the southern part of Africa, or is this something that can actually be confirmed? So we will get one or two persons to join along the course of and we'll take comments along the course of the conversation. But I'll start with Lily. Lily, let me hear from you. What do you think about Nigerians generally?
Well, from the ones I've met, I don't have a good experience, and I've actually never ever met a Nigerian that actually has a proper job.
A proper what? A proper what?
A job, like an actual job.
Wow.
I've
Okay.
I've never. Maybe other people have, but me personally, I've never met one.
You've never
And
met a Nigerian that has a proper job. That's shocking. Like that is shocking. I have a proper job though.
you are in Nigeria.
Okay, so you're speaking about Nigerians that live in South Africa.
I've never been to Nigeria, so
Oh,
I
okay.
the experience I have is the one that I see here around me. And I can't speak on behalf of everyone. Maybe other people have a different experience. But
Mm,
from where I'm coming from, and they are very disrespectful.
really? Okay. I'll say that you're not first person saying that. And I'm surprised, but notwithstanding, let pause that thought. I'm coming back to you because I have a question on that. But let's take it from Nono. Nono, what's your experience? You are from Namibia. What's your experience with Nigerians in Namibia or wherever it is you've been talking to them?
Well, I've been to Nigeria, and my experience with Nigerians is completely different from what Lulu is talking about. I could say that I've met Nigerians that are good, well mannered, come from good families that work. I've met Nigerians that have worked at Standard Bank in South Africa, and I've met Nigerians, of course, that do other things.
Mm.
When I say other things, it could be illegal, but they're also well mannered. It doesn't necessarily mean that all Nigerians are the same. She
Okay.
is right though. When Nigerians are not in their own country, they have a tendency of being a bit, a bit nonchalant. Let me put it that way, nonchalant, because they feel like they have money and they could do whatever they want to do in certain countries in comparisons to their countries, because they in comparisons to Nigeria, because the police in Nigeria, they don't play. The jails in Nigeria, as they put it, they are worse than other countries. Yeah.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
feel
Okay.
like it's a bit different, but honestly, in terms of, I think each to its own. The people that I've met, they are good Nigerians, people that work and respect the law and respect other people. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ride on that and say this. From what you've said, Nigerians tend to be well behaved when they are not in Nigeria because the system here does frowns against misbehavior. So can we then say, going by what a lot of South Africans say, about how Nigerians are into drugs and all of that, that is the system, is the justice system or the police system or the system there that encourages such behavior? Because now this is my theory. For instance, we have 50,000 Nigerians in South Africa. We have 200 million Nigerians living in Nigeria, and 50,000 people are involved in crimes. But back home, and that means also that Johannesburg, Johannesburg is one of the most crime-ridden cities in the world, right? But in Lagos, we don't have a lot of crime. Lagos is not as criminal minded as Johannesburg, for instance. So the question is, why are the Nigerians, able to do crimes in Johannesburg or Stanton or
I would
Cape Town,
say I would say
and they can't do it
you
in Lagos?
I would say the reason being everything is documented. Maybe it's not as documented as you guys make it seem. Like, I feel like everything in South Africa is documented. It has to be documented. If crime happens, you go to the police station, you write a docket, and everything is documented. So it might be that they wouldn't document a whole lot of crimes that are happening in Nigeria because most of the things are not documented. Don't you think that could be the case?
Mhm. Well, in terms
Mm-hmm.
of documentation, I'll say I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, you might be correct to a certain extent in terms of documentation. But however, we all know that crimes happen, and it impacts you, the everyday person. So what it means is that, for instance, when I come over to South Africa, when I'm in Durban or whatever it is I am in South Africa, I can't go out freely. I can't bring out my phones in public because I feel somebody might just mug me. But that's not the case in Lagos.
Which
Everybody can
area
walk
are you
around.
going to? Which area are you going to for you to feel that way? Because if you look at how many white people are in South Africa, they walk around with their phones openly. Nobody would feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to be mugged. Do you understand? It
Really?
just depends which area. If you go to a location or you go to Johannesburg CBD, of course you are going to be mugged if you flaunting an iPhone 13 around. You have to keep
Okay.
your own items to yourself. Do you
Yeah.
understand? But I
Yeah.
feel like it's anywhere in the world. If I go to one of the most dangerous areas in Lagos, of course I'm going to be mugged. Of course something is going to happen. And who am I going to blame? Myself, because I
Mm-hmm.
was reckless. Even when you go to I mean, for instance, even if you walk around New York, there's pickpocketing. So if you're not careful with your own stuff, you need to take care of your stuff. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
But
in
also,
okay.
terms of
also,
it Sorry.
Also, yeah, in South Africa, Nigerians are really not big in those street kind of crimes. They
Yeah,
do
no,
their
they're
own
not.
things from their homes. If you get an SMS telling you you've won something, if you get an SMS that is Dodge or someone trying to hack something, and you call them back, you'd actually find that it's a Nigerian speaking person. Mostly, not all of them, but they're
Okay,
not big. They're not big like on the street, pickpocketing, hijacking, and all of that.
okay. So, but the thing is, it's a confirmed statistic that Johannesburg is one of the most dangerous cities. Well, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, they are some of the most dangerous cities in the world. It's confirmed. It's not even subject to debate. It's all over the internet, right? So, I was in Santin. Yeah, I was in Santin and I was with a South African and I was asking, I wanted to go to the mall and I was asking, can I go to the mall? Can I be mugged if I get to the mall? And she was like, well, it's 50-50. It's South Africa. You can't be mugged, even in Santin. So
That
I'm not sure you can do
I
that in, say,
disagree with. I
BI or
disagree with
a.
you on that one. If you look at how Santon has literally updated their security, you can't even walk around without seeing each and every corner of Santon City where there is not even security. I'm talking about heavy armed security. So whoever told you that was fabricating
Okay,
stories.
fine. So that we don't lose track of the topic.
I
Back
feel
to
like
Lule.
the
Okay.
reason being is that they've updated all of that, because you'll find that sometimes when people are walking in the mall with their trolleys, they don't pay attention. They would have left their bags, but now they've pumped up that security.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but okay, I'll give it to you. So the security is
Alright.
much better now. But let's get back to the issue. Now, a lot of South Africans will make will say that Nigerians are responsible for a lot of the drug trade in South
Yes,
Africa. And
definitely.
going by what Lule said earlier as well, that you've not seen a Nigerian that has
I
got
have never,
a
personally,
good job.
never. Maybe it's
Okay,
because I don't surround myself with. I don't know a lot of them, but the
okay.
few that I've met, no.
I've actually met I've actually met a Nigerian doing Uber in one of my travels there. I've met Nigerians that are into the restaurant business as well. I'm just saying. So if that is the case, do you then think or say, can we then say categorically that Nigerians are responsible for the drug trade in South Africa?
They Nigerians want quick money. Hence, they're always in clubs. Most clubs in Joburg are full of Nigerians, and they're the ones who buy the most expensive alcohol.
Wow, interesting. It will be interesting to get another Nigerian on this live so that they can hear what is being said about Nigeria. Okay, but here's the thing though. No, no. I think you're having a connection issue with Lule. But here's the thing. No, no. You've been to Nigeria, right?
Yes, I
And you've
have.
been to South Africa as well.
Yes, I
Um,
have.
I'm sure you can see there's a significant difference between the attitude in Nigeria and the attitude in South Africa. Just like Lulu did say, there are so many people that she hasn't met anybody that's that has a good job, a normal job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but you've been to Nigeria, you know that Nigerians are hardworking, and a lot of Nigerians do work. They have 8 to 9, and they are extremely hardworking. Can you
Of
confirm
course.
that?
Of course, definitely. I mean, you Nigerian people in general, I could say the population of Nigerian people are very Nigerians
I very well.
are Nigerians are very intelligent people. I mean, you guys, if you set your mind into doing something, you do it thorough. Whether it like I'll give you guys that. I mean, if you look at America, most entertainers are Nigerians and Nigerian born. So you guys are very intelligent, and you guys are very you guys are good at your craft. If you guys put your mind into something, you guys are great at it. And yet, I also understand what Lou is saying, because when you go to Nigeria, the people that you meet there, especially in hotels like your eco hotels, they're so well mannered, so welcoming, so inviting. And then you meet Nigerians that are actually in South Africa or Namibia, some of them. They're very, let me just say, rough on the edge. Not all of them, but some that you will meet randomly on the road. But if you are going to associate yourself and probably go to Santon, like let's just say it's a Nigerian who grew up in London and they're now working for Standard Bank or ABSA, or you know what I mean. Those Nigerians, the behavior is completely different. We're not saying all I'm personally not saying all Nigerians are bad. Nigerians are just unique people, an acquired taste. You have to first meet one, get to understand them. And I also feel like, I'm so sorry to say this, I think Lule is actually speaking mostly on a different clan of Nigerians. This is like another topic where when you speak about a different clan, because you'll meet someone and they'll tell you they're Yoruba. You'll meet someone, they'll tell you they are Igbo. And we all know, now that you get to used to Nigerians, you understand, okay, Igbos are the ones that they will do anything for money. They will even sell you if you are their wife. Do you understand?
Okay, Sandiso Mtoba is saying that NoNo loves Nigerians. She's kind of sugarcoating a lot. But I think I tend to disagree with that. Because Sandiso, if you do know Nigeria or have been to Nigeria, you'll know that she's actually been accurate. So I have a comment also by my dear Pando, who is saying that rough on the edge. She's laughing and she's saying that Balaza point blank. You can argue. Okay, Lule, welcome back.
Bahlaza point blank. Bahlaza, it means like
Embarrassing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, so I'm not going to defend Nigerians because I'm Nigerian, but here's the thing. The tendency is for South Africans, especially South Africans, right? That the South Africans, most South Africans don't travel anyway. So because they do not travel, they generally tend to be colored.
What makes you guys like saying that? What makes you guys say that South Africans don't travel?
They don't travel. No, they don't travel. The average South African
Probably
don't
travel to Nigeria, but South Africans do travel.
You know
okay,
what? Maybe the reason you are saying that we don't travel is because maybe we are so well mannered that you guys think we don't travel, because maybe we stick to our roots and how we were raised. They come and do something way different. Maybe you'll never notice a South African that's somewhere there or anywhere because they're not behaving in some weird way, and you'd be questioning, where's this person from? And you actually find out that, oh, actually South Africans do travel because they not doing anything dodgy.
Really,
true. Questioning where they from.
Okay, so when I say South Africans do not travel, I'm talking relatively, especially when you speak about, say, Nigerians, for instance. Okay, so Lule, how many times have you been out of South Africa this year?
I haven't been anywhere since COVID.
Good. I've been outside Nigeria like 4 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
That answers you. Okay, back to the issue. So I think that a lot of South Africans do not travel, and
they move and relocate to a country. They don't just travel. They just pack their whole lives away and move to the country and live there.
Tando says, oh, in SA, we support local tourism, Kruger National Park. Exactly. So I admit that, your infrastructure is very strong and it's good. Your infrastructure is strong, and so the need for you to go out at times is not always there. So yes, I admit that. But the truth is, when you travel, you tend to see other perspectives. You tend to see people from another angle, and this is why I'm bringing out this issue. No, you've been to Nigeria, so you've seen Nigerians work. You've seen Nigerians, get dirty into work, right? But a typical South African would think that all Nigerians are drug dealers, they are criminals, right? Because all they are exposed to is the 50,000 people that are living in South Africa. And 50,000 is a very tiny fraction of 200 million people. So if 200 million people are working and they are hardworking, don't you think it's a bit unfair to then color them with actions of, say, the 50,000 tiny fraction. And as a matter of fact, most of the 50,000 people, most of the guys that you see in Johannesburg are people that didn't cut it here, they didn't make it here, and just managed to travel there, and they became illegal migrants and all of that. So I think on that end, since there's no other person to argue on behalf of Nigerians, I'll say that may be a little unfair. Then there's also the other issue, and I'm going to throw that to you, NoNo, since Lule is having issues with our connection. So a few days ago, there was a Nigerian doctor that spoke strongly against the travel ban. She's the head of the Vaccine Alliance, and she spoke to, yeah. And not only was she the only one that spoke, the government took an official position, even when some African countries were, taking a stand against South Africa. Now, this is not the first time Nigeria will be taking a stand in support of South Africa. During the apartheid, it was similar as well. But I get the feeling, and which is something I spoke to, I think, Tanto, that if the roles were reversed, South Africa will never stand with Nigeria. Why is that so?
Actually, I disagree with you, because when you guys were also experiencing your brutality when it came to your police, South Africans were out in the streets with other Nigerians in support of you guys. We were reposting, we were showing you guys love. I feel like because a whole lot of people, a whole lot of media just shows a whole lot of xenophobic, not even attacks that are happening in South Africa, they will say that South Africans are killing Nigerians. South Africans are killing other African people. That's not the case. And when it comes to such a situation, I'll give you an understanding of how South Africa is. When it comes to South Africa, if you do anything that has to deal with taxi drivers, even if you're a white person, you are setting war upon yourself. That's how we are. So I feel like that whole situation where a Nigerian was attacked by taxi drivers, that was because he had already shot another taxi driver at gunpoint. So he was literally asking for war. So it's not always the fact that we don't support Nigerians or we don't support other people from other countries. We are just not as loud as you guys. Do you understand?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You spoke about, you just said something about, taxi. During the normal, I've had situations where during the taxi problems, a Zimbabwean or maybe an Angolan shoots a South African or gets into trouble. The first instinct for the typical South African is that this is done by a Nigerian, right? No. It's something. Here is the thing. No, I go to South Africa a lot, and I know that. Like I told somebody, it's easy for me to get into a conversation with a South African than a black South African, because they are much more friendly than black South Africans.
With the white South Africans, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, and at times I tend to wonder why there is this sort of competition. Yeah, so to say, I'll say some sort of competition. South African sees Nigerians as, I would say, maybe as threats and all of that, and it's something worrisome for me, because you don't get that feeling when you go to Dubai, for instance. You don't get that feeling when you get to the UK or to the US or to Canada, but you get it a lot when you get to South Africa, and it's worrisome. So I'll say, why is this so? It's something I can't explain it. I can't understand it. Maybe you can shed some light to that on me. Lule, you're back. Welcome back. You said something about propaganda, Lule. What do you mean propaganda?
I feel like the what NoNo was talking about, the last time we had a xenophobic attack, apparently it was political driven. There was nothing of that sort. There was absolutely nothing of that sort. I went to Joburg during that weekend. There was nothing like that. Everything that was trending, it was not happening in South Africa.
Because it was happening in Pretoria, friend.
Hey, really? I'm not
and
so
they
sure
even
that
showed pictures of Joburg town. I went to town.
There was nothing in Johannesburg.
There was nothing in Joburg, and they even said there's things that are happening in Midrand. There was nothing. It was just a situation that happened once, and then people pulled out videos from long time ago, and that even
some are not even South African videos, though. Some you could tell that was not even South African videos.
Yeah, but the news, it was all over the news, really. Like it was all over the news. Okay, let's
No.
push that aside. Let's push that aside, and
If you show no.
let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. Look, Lucky Dube. I think he's South African. Lucky
Okay.
Dube was South. Lucky Dube.
Yeah.
I can't
Lucky
remember.
Dube.
Yeah, I think he was killed. And he was murdered. And I remember there was this interview, or maybe the investigation came out to say that the person that murdered him killed him because he thought he was Nigerian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, yes, and that is the kind of um, attitude you know Nigerians get when they're in South Africa. And
Mm-hmm.
I've had cases, where you are with a South African, and another South African is speaking in the local dialect. That, look, what are you doing with these Nigerians? So we are the receiving end. So it's more going to be ingrained in our head than it's you, for instance. So the question is, why exactly is this so? And like I said earlier, this feeling, this treatment, you don't get it anywhere else in the world. After all, Nigerians are Nigerians everywhere in the world. So why is this feeling or this treatment stronger, or this
Okay.
sentiment stronger down there than everywhere else in the world?
Okay, before my thing it cuts me off again. I grew up in a small town in KZN, so the closest big city that had the most Nigerian was Durban. So in
Okay.
Durban, in town, there were so many Nigerian shops, but I can assure you that those shops were not registered and they were not being taxed. They were not being, there was no tax, nothing of that sort. But with South Africans, when you want to open a business, you must register the business. You must get a tax for that business. You must do all these kinds of things. So that's why South Africans were angry, because they'll just bypass all these other things that we need to do to open businesses. They will just open a business here, bribe cops, and that's the end of it, because they are actually not just selling those chips that you see in front. There's more other things. They have money to do what they want to do.
Oh, okay. So still on that, okay, so part of what I know that South Africans do not like about Nigerians is the fact that they feel they are taking a lot of their jobs and all of that. You spoke about the fact that they come around, set up shops and all of that. But here's the thing. Somebody has a job and he's offering 20 rands for the job, right? I'm just giving an example. And the South African is feeling, no, 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 no. This job, I can only take, say, 40 rands for it. And then the Nigerian comes around and says, you know what? Yeah, I'll take 20. I'll even take 18 rands. And then the sentiment is these Nigerians or these non South Africans, the Zimbabweans and all, they're taking our jobs. So how do you reconcile that, right? Because it's, if people are willing to work and they get to work the same job that the local South African does not want to take, how then do you blame other nationals for the rising unemployment in South Africa? No, you want to take that?
Well, for me, I would actually say when it comes to such things, there are laws in place in South Africa. First and foremost, when it comes to employment, you cannot offer a person less than, I think it's 25 rands, the least. So if you are going to come as a Nigerian owner, tell a person they need to get employed for 20 rands. First and foremost, that's ridiculous. The thing about South Africans, we've got laws in place and we understand our laws. So if you are going to come to our country and your business is not registered, one, two, you also want to rip us off. How do you expect us to survive? Because as Lulega said, chances are you're not only just selling those potatoes and chips and whatever. You're doing other things that's making you money. So why rip people off? Yes, your brother who is Nigerian, who doesn't understand the laws, will come there and take that 20 rands or 15 rands. Then other people will say, oh, this person is taking our job. But at the end of the day, they will not take it because they understand their laws. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I think
Okay.
it also comes with the mindset of being corrupt. Like they take that corruption that they have back home and they want to bring it into a different country, which makes other people angry.
Okay. Technically, at times, some of these jobs are not like offered by Nigerians. They are offered by say Indians, which you have a high Indian population in South Africa. So, so when the offer is there and this is what is being offered, and then it's acceptable to the Nigerian to survive, like Mugitsa is saying, how then do you blame them for taking your jobs? How then
Well,
do you?
we're saying that you guys are taking our jobs because probably somebody who could actually register their company and put their own shop there, they could even follow the laws. I guess that's what most people mean. But I understand a lot of people in South Africa tend to say that when it comes to restaurant business, where they will go to, like, for instance, I know Nigerians are not really in the restaurant, like they're not waiters in South Africa. That we all know. They're not waiters. But you'll find like Zimbabwean waiters in South Africa less than what they should be taking. And sometimes, like, in the waitressing business in South Africa, South Africans are also involved. I'm talking about kids that are actually in school that will do the waitressing jobs. So if there's like a Zimbabwe, I'll say a Zimbabwean more than a Nigerian. If a Zimbabwean is gonna go in and take that job less than what the South African law expects a person to be getting, it gets frustrating for a lot of people, because if you look at South Africa, there's a whole lot of unemployment, especially when it comes to youth unemployment. So it gets a bit frustrating that, oh, this person is going to say, I'm going to take that job for 15 rand, but we all know the law says 25 rands. That's how they feel that, okay, you know what? I mean, it's sad, but I feel like that's why there are laws in place. People should play fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Uh, okay. So back
Yeah.
to
And
yeah. There's also this issue. Okay, we understand that, and I know that affects a lot of especially South African, the Zimbabweans, and other nationals, especially from the southern part. Quick question again. Another reason I know a lot of South Africans do hate Nigerians, and especially the male folk, is that they feel that the men from Nigeria take over their ladies, and they they take over their ladies.
I mean,
So
okay.
I've heard
I,
that.
I, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, some of, not all our men, but most of our men, they do not like Nigerians. Because one, this is what I appreciate about you guys. I will not lie. I appreciate, well, South African men, they don't like the fact that Nigerians will be, they'll spoil the women, and they'll overcompensate. Sometimes you'll find that a Nigerian doesn't have respect. And I'll say this, why I'm saying this. Sometimes you Nigerians don't have respect, even if you know that that lady is with a guy or a South African guy. You will go and approach her. That's disrespectful. You'll go and approach the person with, when you know they are with their boyfriends, ask them out, and then now you'll make the guy feel so insecure. Or what you'll do is you'll send a bottle of champagne while they are drinking, let me just say, Ciroc. Why do that? There's a time and place. You could probably send a waiter and say, listen, I like that girl, ask her to give me her numbers. You don't necessarily have to go there yourself and approach. Of course you are provoking the guy to start commotion and fight with you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not defending Nigerians, but if Nigerians treat your women better and your women choose Nigerians,
Not
why blame them?
necessarily. Some of Nigerian guys are actually abusive. Some of you guys, like, they are abusive in terms of verbally. Nigerians, you Nigerians don't know how to speak. I feel like for you guys, you are so quick to get angry and be aggressive and not know how to speak to a woman. That's
Yo,
one. That is one thing. You guys can spoil a woman, that we give it to you guys. But when it comes to emotional and verbal abuse, you guys are the worst.
yo, I'm hearing that for the first time. Okay, yes, this was truly told.
No,
That's not
no,
the
no.
first time.
I mean, even like, I'll give you an example. Like, if you go out on a date with a Nigerian and you go out on a, like, on a date at a restaurant, they'll be like, now, come on. Didn't you like you guys have that accent? I don't know how to pull that accent, but you guys are so aggressive. Like, whoa, there's no need to speak to a person like that. We're like, oh, am I being rude? No, like, and then you guys explain yourself. I feel like the more you get to know you guys, the more we tend to understand. But
Yeah.
generally, you guys come in hard and aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try and explain the aggressive part. So, because I think I've been in both parts, so I understand, where you're coming from. The average South
Yeah.
African is acts a lot of courtesy, speaks nicely. The average Nigerian is a bit in a hurry, right? Is a bit
That's being in a hurry.
I'll say that he's been conditioned by his environment. So the environment here is a bit harsh. So and you know the way it is when you're in a harsh environment, with time you get conditioned, except intentionally, avoid to do that. Welcome, bro.
How's it?
Thank you. So how are you?
Yes, I'm good
Yeah,
yourself.
good. Nice to
Yeah,
have you here. Sharp. Nice to see
yeah.
you. I'm sure you have an impression. You haven't seen your comments. So tell me, what do you think about Nigerians?
Nigerians, it's very simple because I've been listening to what Nono's been saying. Like, and some points, I think Nono, as much as I like Nigerians, man, I feel like Nono has a thing for like Nigerians, and I
What you
understand.
mean?
And
I think I've gotten to
okay,
understand. Like,
wait. Actually, wait. Let me put it like this. Maybe she's keeping an open mind, and so I
I
can understand because.
understand them.
Yeah, you understand them. You definitely do, Shan. Because for me, I also like them, but they're very cool if you have something to offer them. Not all the
Hmm.
time. Yeah, like if you play a vital role in whatever, it's a transaction relationship if you're a guy. But also coming back to that disrespect side of things with disrespecting the women, I think they get that image of in South Africa, and especially South African men, black South African men, they're not respected by anybody. In Durban, Indians are running Durban. In Cape Town, white people and colors are racist towards black people. Whites are racist towards black people. So they also get that sense of Uguti, okay, the black man here is really not respected by anyone, so why should we respect him? So obviously they're gonna send a bottle of Dom Perignon to your girl and do whatever they want to
Yeah.
do, because nobody respects the black man. Well, I'll speak for black men, about
Okay.
for just black South African men. Yeah.
Sorry. Let me, Sandy. So, quick question.
Yeah.
My experience with, or my understanding about the relationship between the South African man and the South African woman is that South African men tend to be a bit violent towards their women. That's what I think, and that's what I see, and that's, you hear a lot of a lady wants to break up with a boyfriend, and the next thing she's shot, she's killed, or and all of that, and a combination of all of that, and that's why you have, there was this campaign about gender-based violence. It's a recurring thing,
Mm.
campaign against gender-based violence over there. So it's standard, it's there. So I'll say that that's probably one of the reasons why South African women will start looking across the divide. So in terms of respect, who would you say respects women more, Nigerians or Nigerian men or South African men?
I'm not gonna lie, as a South African man, right? It differs. It differs,
Okay.
but I'm gonna go with the Nigerian because they have what the South African woman wants. That's how I put it. So they very exactly changura using the money. So Nigerian guys have a lot of money, a
You
lot of
know,
money. They have a lot of money.
hmm.
They really do have a lot of money, and they're like Nzotin, like yeah. So I think Nigerian men treat South African women much more better.
I I differ on that part. Nigerian men will treat you. They'll treat you well because they have money, but they're still abusive. And remember, there's different forms of abuse. There's physical, which is where a man is gonna beat you up. There's emotional, where someone is gonna blackmail you and tell you that I paid this, that's emotional abuse, because that person, they know that you rely on them. Then there's verbal abuse, which you guys, shame. Nigerians, you can't, you're not terrible at it. And yes, a Nigerian guy will, not all the time, will not beat you up, but he will say the most painful things, which is worse than physical abuse. Like, you'll get scarred for life, things that you will never even think that a person that you love would say to you.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
No. We just had we just had the South African confirm that Nigerians treat South African women better. So I'll go with him.
But then, wait, sorry.
You
know
he's
you.
a man. At the end of the day, he's a man. If he was probably dating a Nigerian woman, then it would have been different. And Nigerian women, they don't play.
They don't play.
They don't play. They are worse. They are like,
okay, you know what? Like they are South African guys. But what I'm saying is that currently, right now, with what I'm talking about, currently the mindset of South African women and South African men and Nigerian guys. NoNo's right. You guys can be very loud, even amongst each other. You guys, when you talk, you're very loud. You're very straightforward, very loud. Like, you're very loud. Even when you're talking the most simplest conversations, and you guys could be friends, but it's like you guys are fighting.
Okay. Sandy, so thank you so much. I'll just request that
they're saying, why aren't South African men not dating Nigerian women?
There are no Nigerian. I don't know any Nigerian woman. I've never bumped into a Nigerian woman as much as I bumped into Nigerian.
Stop lying. They are in the salon.
Good night.
Yeah, I think I do not know. I've never, which is funny because really I've never heard about South African man dates a Nigerian. It's so uncommon. It's actually it's not a balance. It's not so common, right? Have you ever dated a Nigerian before, NoNo?
Yes, I have.
What's your experience like?
Excuse me?
What was the experience like?
My experience with the Nigerian man was good. It was good. Like, I've never experienced anything terrible. I'd be lying. Hey, like, it was good. It was good. And the two that I've dated, we're still good friends, even. One is married, one is married now. Yeah, it's been good.
Okay. Nigerians in South Africa, Nigerians in Namibia. Okay, Tanya is saying that she's met a Nigerian woman married to an AC man. Wow, okay. That's not common, but yeah.
But question is, do they stay in South Africa or in Nigeria?
So I'm sure in South African woman will struggle. Yo, Simba, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I know, special commendation because I know you are in between flights, right?
Yes, I just connected. I just got to Atlanta.
Oh, yo, welcome. Nice. Thanks for joining us. So before you joined, we've been,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm good as well.
So NoNo, let me introduce Simba. Simba, first of all, Simba and myself are birthday mates, and July 12 babies, July 12 specifically.
Oh, July 12. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say, even though Simba is American officially, but she's Nigerian by association. I know why.
So she's pure Nigerian.
Yes, but Simba, let me just bring you up to speed. Before now we were talking. NoNo is Namibian, but she's stayed some time in South Africa and also she's been to Nigeria. So we're talking about how Nigerians behave when they are not in Nigeria. So, from your experience, first, I'm going to start with you. From your experience, what's your experience with, like, in one word or like in one sentence, in your words, what do you think about Nigerians generally?
Okay, so I don't know that many Nigerians outside of Nigeria, to be totally honest with you. I might
Okay.
know, I mean, I know some, right? Um, so this is something that I joke about a lot, but I actually mean it. To me, and I'm only speaking about Nigerian men. To me, Nigerian men, once they are in another country, they're watered down. Like they're a watered down version.
No, we can hear you. The
Yeah,
Okay.
they're a watered down version of the Nigerian men in Nigeria. Like they're cheaper, they don't dress as good. Everything is just bad. Like just not hitting. Like not a hit. So
Wow.
every time I meet a guy, and he's like he's Nigerian, I'm like, and where do you live? And they're like New York, Atlanta. I'm like, please go your way. I can't handle you. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
So you see, it's
Funny enough,
exactly what we were
that's
talking
similar to,
about. The behavior changes when they leave
yeah,
Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
They
yeah,
forget they supposed to
no,
pass the coin. Like you're not that hot, bro. Stop it.
okay. Nana also mentioned that Nigerians generally behave worse off when they are out of Nigeria than when they're in Nigeria. Okay. So interesting. So let me ask you the second question, Simba, quickly. You know, I want to talk about the hospitality of Nigerians. Last year, I was it last year or 2 years ago, Simba attended a dinner with the Nigerian vice president, and she took a picture with the Nigerian vice president. And of course, I read your comments about the fact that you were not exposed to such opportunity even from your country in the US. So that
Of
speaks
course.
to the hospitality of Nigerians. Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah. I do think that I came in knowing. So when I came to Nigeria, I knew no one. Like I booked a Delta flight and I stayed at the Sheraton. And I said, you know what? If something's gonna happen to me, at least it's gonna happen on American grounds, not necessarily soil, but American ground. So at least my mother can sue, and we can do something. But as soon as I got there, I just met some amazing people, and it happened to put me in. Uh, sorry, hello.
We lost you.
Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Back.
Yeah. People always want to call you when you're alive. Please get alive. Anyway, so
Yeah. Calls are coming in. We
Yeah.
understand.
yeah, so 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 I automatically entered in an echelon that was higher than what I was in America. So I was invited to things that I wouldn't have been invited to America. Like I always say, I'm still waiting to lay my eyes on Obama. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And this is the president
Crazy.
of my own
Yeah.
country. And then I had the opportunity to take a picture with the vice president of Nigeria. Yes, I'm going to take the opportunity. And of course, people ran with it, but that's what people do. People run. And I don't mind a
Yeah.
little running. If you want to run, run. Just run in my direction with the money. So, so it was an opportunity. It was an honor, and I took it, and I didn't take it for granted in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Still on that, I'll come to you. But quickly, Simba. Um, there is this South Africans generally think, and somebody on the live initially
I need
said
a
that.
filter. Hold on. Can you get a filter? Sorry.
Yeah,
I've been
so
traveling.
someone,
Okay, yeah, it's better. Okay,
I
now
think
it's
you
fine.
good, you look good. So someone said that she had not met any in Nigerian that had a valid job, that had a good job, all her life, in South Africa, right? But you've been to Nigeria. What do you think? What would you say about the Nigerian ethic? How is their attitude to work? How, are they honest people, or are they, scammers like everybody wants to believe? Simba, it's to
Oh,
you.
you're asking me? Okay. You know what? I
Yes.
just answered this question for somebody. And the way I answered it, I was like, wow, I got to remember that. I hope I do remember it. So, when you're from a country where where the difference of the wealthy to the poor, and not like American poor. Like you can be American poor and get food stamps and sell it for half off, because I done bought a lot of food stamps from people, and also get cash assistance. I don't know if that exists in Nigeria. The people who I know are poor don't get it at all. They don't got it because they come to me every month for money. Um, so when you get to Nigeria, she was trying to say that, you know, people are always talking about people are going to try to scam you, kind of this. I said, I don't want to call it scamming, because there's negative connotations associated to certain words, and I don't know if I want to call it scamming. What I do want to say about it is that when you come from somewhere where you have to make ends meet, it can't be scamming. It has to be more of, that's your hustle, that's your survival. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know there's some people, I take care of. They have no money. Their parents have died. They're finished. And if they are going to work, they're going to work for 30,000 naira. Guess what? I'd rather use some of the money that I make to give a young woman the opportunity to go to a school, do a trade, do a this, do a that. Because 30,000 naira is what I pay to get my nails done. You know what I'm saying? So to see a fellow sister, or to just see somebody in a country that I've made so much money from. I've made so much money in Nigeria that if I cannot give some of that back, then I need to go my way. And I shouldn't get anything more. So I say that to say, call it scamming if you want to. I call it survival. I don't call it scamming. Now, there are scammers. We know some. I'm about to go see one soon. Hello. But if you have the mind of a Nigerian, which to me, their minds are, they're just 10 steps ahead of everyone. If you can be 10 steps ahead of everyone, you should be fucking scamming. Period.
Period.
You should be
But
scamming.
it actually goes back to what Lou was saying. When you get to South Africa, you get to Namibia, majority of them are what? Drug dealers and scammers.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's why we were saying that, okay, just a few, because the ones that I've met, and I did say that I have met Nigerians that work at Standard Bank, but remember, it's because they've been moved from Nigeria to South Africa. It's not always a matter of come look for a job, or if that's the case, it's the ones that are educated, that they studied here or they studied in London, then they're going to come and work here. But there's not majority of them in South Africa. Yes, you'll find them in the US. Yes, you'll find them in the UK, but not in Africa.
And guess why?
Yeah.
And I feel like part of the reason why is, so in Nigeria, I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm not sure of all these things, but I pay attention and I try to think. I'm assuming that so in America, remember, the laws and all these things were built by people who were not us and not thinking for us, which means that the laws and these things don't include us. So you can say, oh yeah, but my sister went there and she did well, and this one went there and they did well. Yeah, but your sister didn't sustain the same mental warfare. She didn't go through the same process of everyone else, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. But I say that to say this. Most people in Nigeria have been grandfathered in because they didn't let the white people come in and take over everything. Whereas in South Africa, you don't have a chance. You don't have a choice. Because they're not even going to put you in the place, even the smartest of the smartest. They're not going to put them in the place in order to be able to sit at those tables.
True. I agree with you.
Interesting. Wow, Simba, I think you said it all on pinpoint.
Oh, y'all thought I was just a stripper? I'm sorry. I have 2 master's degrees, FYI. I speak 6 languages, and I studied classical music for 4 years. Yeah, I'm really that girl.
Simba is yo.
Don't forget it.
So yeah, you forgive it. So Simba has done so well for herself. She's hosting Big Brother Nigeria. She was hosting some part of Big Brother Nigeria, and that was I gave my heart for her. It was interesting because back then when Simba you came into Nigeria, I think was it 2014, 2013, 2014?
No, it was 2017.
Are you serious?
January 2017. I was checking my passport and I said, whoa, I'm
I remember.
sorry.
I remember, and you know, he was 20, so he was 2017. I just thought it was like 2015 because it looks so far away now. Like, you know, and I remember
Yeah,
when,
you've done
you know,
so
when she
much.
came, yeah, she's done so
Congratulations.
well. You know, she's done so well for herself. So yeah, I told this to her. So, but back to what you know, Lulu said before. You know, Simba joined the life. So Lulu said something about Nigerians being aggressive. But now she's saying that I'm hearing people say it's a case of Nigerians are just always on hustle mode. So which would you go with? Are there there's a fine line between being aggressive or being in hustle mode. Which will you choose? Are Nigerians just rude and aggressive, or they're just like, they know what they want to, go for it, and they're just on hustle mode?
I think it's part of the culture. The reason why I
Okay.
say that is because you will go somewhere and you'll see two women speaking, and if you're not from Nigeria, you will think they're fighting.
Mm.
And when you
True.
and
True.
once you learn the lingo, you're like, mama, I want a mala to bring from na, come na. And somebody else in another culture would not even understand it. Okay, fine. Now let's talk about the people in the culture. If that is how you were brought up, if that is how your everyday go-to conversation is, what are you gonna expect it to change just because you went to London one time? First, so your first day in London, all of a sudden you have a British accent. All of a sudden you're drinking tea with your fingers up. If that's how you're used to your mother speaking, that's how you will speak.
Yeah.
If that's how you're used to your grandmother speaking, that's how you will speak. But guess what? Let me say something. I'm aggressive too, but that's why I get what I want.
Mm.
People don't try me because they're like, Simba, don't mess with that one. That one there. That wahala is too much. Yes, I'm glad you know because I'm ready
Yeah.
for you. So, with that being said, like I told my girlfriend, I said, listen, in order for you to, I said, the second you come to Nigeria and you spend some time there, you too then become 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Why? Because you then to grab onto that part of their culture. Nigerians are 10 steps ahead of everybody in in real life. So when I see these videos going on, oh, this is happening at the airport, this is happening at the airport. You haven't learned yet. When you learn, you won't feel that way. Enjoy. And guess what? You can complain about the airport all you want. But those 5 days, 15 days, 27 days that you had and you took time and you stayed in Nigeria, you enjoyed the fuck out of it. So don't tell me about no 30-minute experience.
That's the
Bitch,
crazy part. That's the crazy
you
part
mad
about
at a
it all.
30-minute experience and you just spent a whole month in Nigeria and enjoyed your best life? Get the fuck out of here. Guess what? Nigeria don't need you.
Simba, nice one. Nice one there. So I'll say that we are getting to the point where we are thinking, okay, Nigerians are not so bad, but let's focus on the bad part still. Of course, you hear a lot of Nigerians do drugs.
Some
I hear
people.
that they do drugs and all of that, and for in the US, for instance, I'll still so unlike in South Africa, you get because of the activity of a lot of Nigerians in South Africa, where they do a lot of drugs, human trafficking, and all of that. So a lot of people just look at Nigerians and they're going like, these are criminals and all of that. But the general attitude, is something you feel more in South Africa than any part of the world, right? So even though you have a lot of scammers and a lot of criminals, in a lot of Nigerian criminals elsewhere, like other nationals, you don't get that sentiment, that anti-Nigerian sentiment in the US, for instance, as much as you have it in down south here. So I'll ask you, Simba, what's the attitude of what's the attitude to Nigerians in the US? Like,
Oh God,
if you hear
listen.
you're Nigerian, what's the attitude over there?
I just met a girl and she was like, "Oh my God, girl, you going to Nigeria? Can I come?" I'm like, "Sis, you need to get that belly down, and then once you get the belly down, you can come." But what I'm saying is, all the women are always like, "Oh, I want to come." Oh my God. And the guys now, what I've been doing is I've been hitting. Okay, so I feel like once the men start to come to Nigeria, is really the game changer. I feel like when the tourism board makes their plan, they need to target the men because the women will be easily swayed because women like men. Women are going to go where the men are. But the
Yeah,
men are the ones that are going to fuel the tourism. Once black men, black African, Caribbean, black American, wherever, start to, and actually no, black American and Caribbean men start to go to the continent, that is when everything is going to boost. Why? Because everyone loves Nigerians in real life, except,
Really?
first of all, let me tell you about South African men. They are the bottom of the totem pole, if you ask me.
Oh,
Please,
what
I
do
beg.
you mean? What do you
Honey,
mean?
the richest man in
Yo,
South
we have a
Africa,
lot of
call
South
me
Africans on this live.
all
Yo,
right.
Simba,
The
you're gonna
richest
get a
man
lot of
in
people
South
come
Africa
up
is
with.
what?
The richest
You're gonna
man in
get a
South
lot of.
Africa can't call me. I'm not interested. I'm not like I'm
Why?
cheap, good for nothing, woman beaters, woman killers. Come on, you want me
Not
to keep
at
going?
all. Not
Sis,
at
you want me?
all. Not at
Stop. Do you know?
all.
Yo,
Wait,
South
stop.
African men. I mean,
Do you
yo,
know the
South African men are.
statistics? Wait. Sorry, host. I'm taking over now. Please, I beg. Do you know the statistics of South African men with domestic violence and not just domestic, but killing? Sister, do your research. Woman.
Besides that, it's just, yeah, of course, everything is documented, but it happens in Nigeria as well, in other African
Not as,
countries as well.
honey, it happens all over the world. It happens on my
Yeah,
street, but it
yeah.
doesn't happen as often, and that is the point.
But it's because it's documented. Like everything is documented in South Africa. Of course, you're gonna find that. But generally,
My,
not all men are like that.
I
Not
didn't say
most
all
men.
men.
Not
I didn't
most
say.
men. Let me just say, not most men are like that.
Listen.
Try to
If
give South Africa a chance. Maybe you would
I
just love it
won't,
as much as
I
you love
have,
Nigeria.
I
Yeah.
have. Not only that,
Mhm.
the effect of apartheid, which a lot of
Mhm.
people don't know, just ended. Okay,
Mhm.
the effect of apartheid makes the people of South Africa look down upon the black people that visit Africa. Let me be 100 with you, sis. When I go somewhere, I'm in 5-star. I'm where it's at. The coin.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
And the experiences I've had in South Africa go
Mhm.
across the board. And when I speak to certain people, they say the same thing. The
Mhm.
effects
Exactly.
of apartheid is
Yeah.
what makes South Africa the way, South Africans the way that they are. And guess what?
Yeah.
It's the same reason why the effects of racism, which also recently ended, makes Black Americans the way they are. Let me say something. I live in a life of reality. I would love for people to say, "Oh, Trinidad is amazing, and this is great," and but there are millions of things wrong with Trinidad. But right now, we're not talking about Trinidad. We're talking about South Africa and Nigeria. And if I
Yeah.
had to choose the two, I'm going with Nigeria because of the reasons that I claimed. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. I can't. I'm going 200% with Simba on that.
Yeah.
I think appetite is something that there's scarred the mentality of the South African, right?
Mhm.
I was in Sun City a few years ago, and there was this white, more or less like this white, settings. Everybody, it was just white guys there, and the black guys, stayed somewhere else. And I just walked up to where the whites were. I sat down and I made my order. Like,
So what are
if
you
anybody
saying? Are you
decides to sit
talking
here,
about like an environment where there was like it was segregated? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
it was
Like South
segregated, even though
African
it was not,
black
it
people
was
were
not
sitting
officially
on another
segregated.
side.
Yeah, it was not officially segregated, but it was segregated. The whites were on this side, the blacks were on this side. And for me, I didn't think I've never been in a society of segregation. So I walked up to where the whites were. I sat in between them, and I made my order. And I didn't even bat an eyelid, right? And the black South Africans were looking, and I'm like, yo, this guy is bold. And
Honey,
that,
Where was
can I tell
that?
you? Wait. Can I tell you my experience?
yeah.
That
Yeah.
happened across the board.
Hmm.
Went to check in. So when I go to places, I like to check into a few hotels because
Yeah.
if I'm flying, I'm staying there at least 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, I can stay at 4 places. What's up? So I check into a hotel. There's two lines. This one was it Southern Sun? Damn, I don't even know what the fuck this
Yeah.
first one was.
Yeah. Something, son.
I don't know. Something Sun. I don't know. Anyway, this is the first one we checked in. It was supposed to be for the weekend because they were having a fashion show. So I was like, oh, this is great. Perfect. We don't have to leave. I'm lazy. We don't have to leave. Great. We check in. There's two lines. So one lady's calling from one's calling from the other. So we're there, me and my girlfriend, first time in South Africa. We like, South African, ready. We're in the line waiting. Now the lady calls us. So we knew automatically. We looked at each other automatically from the way she said hello to us. Now I pay attention to everything. When I say I see what this lady behind me is doing. Boop. Yep, that's it. What I'm saying to you is the way she called us. I looked at my friend. I said, let me handle this. Because my girlfriend, she don't got no filter. She doesn't know how to catch bees with honey. You know, I know how to catch bees. When I'm done with you, you're going to love me. Okay? So we walk up. I'm like, hey, sis. I'm like, that hair? You're hitting. Start the conversation. We thought whatever. The mannerisms, horrible. Then I pulled out my credit card. She sees the credit card on the table. All of a sudden, mannerism changed. You shouldn't have to know who I am or what I bring to the table in order to give me hospitality that you gave everybody else before us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So which part of, so guys, I want to understand, like, you guys are talking about segregation, and then you are also talking about like the mannerisms and stuff, but which part of South Africa was this?
The white part.
Which white part?
That's
like
my point.
Cape Town,
That's my point. That's
Durban,
my point.
Johannesburg. Where?
The first occurrence was in Cape Town, but it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, is what I'm saying to you.
I understand you
It shouldn't
completely,
matter.
and you're
When
right.
I go to Nigeria, guess what? Anywhere I'm going, as long as Mama, I did, you did, them hips so Irish, you know, like that kind of like what you give to your sister is what I expected, and I didn't get that. And I said, okay, you know what? That's just how South Africa is. When in Rome, do what the Romans do. But I'm not gonna bring my sugar daddy's hard-earned money to spend in this country again. No, thank you.
So no, you heard that?
I hear you, and I feel like, I guess it's just that one experience that has made you feel this way, or maybe that one person that has made you feel this way.
No.
There are better people, like you had like a better experience elsewhere.
Sis,
South African people are very friendly. Like, I hear a lot of people that will always say that when you are in a flight with a South African, they will have conversations with you as if they've known you. I mean, that's why you get to a flight
that
with
is
us.
not true.
Apparently, we're the most Ubuntu. That's what we call Ubuntu. We're so friendly.
No.
A lot of people say that.
Stop, sis. I'm gonna do a poll on my page. This is just for people who have been to South Africa.
Okay.
Because guess what? I've had this conversation with people, not just Americans, people from different countries, and they're like South Africa. It's nice. Cape Town's beautiful. Everybody should experience it. Beautiful. Johannesburg, I loved it. I had a vibe. That's more my speed. Cape Town is cool, but I like to enjoy life. I don't care about. I've seen everything. There's nothing more to impress me in this life. Well, maybe Dangote's house. but I say all of that to say, in life we just have to address the things that are like. Now maybe because you're South African. Maybe you're South African. That's maybe why you've never experienced that. But somebody that's not from there, that's not saying the Swahili, the Zulu, maybe they just don't grasp people in the same manner. Maybe we don't say the right hello word, but I shouldn't have to do that. If I'm here, I give you a smile, I walk into your hotel, I need to get great service. Why? Because you didn't give this to me for free.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, Simba, there's a lot of people that go to America and they also say that Americans are not nice. They're the least friendliest people ever. And when
I'll be the first one to tell you that.
Especially if you have an accent, they will always like mimic you and they'll say the most rudest things, and you're thinking that's so rude. So I'm actually shook. Like, you guys are like one of the few people that are saying South Africans aren't friendly.
Sis, I'll be the first one to tell you that Americans are the rudest people. Part of the reason why they're rude is because they're not experienced, they're not exposed. What they know is usually their 10-block radius. But this discussion wasn't about Americans. This discussion was about Nigeria and
South Africa.
Because, honey, my American list is long. I have a plan for America. When I'm done with America, they'll be looking for me, and they won't be able to find me. Okay.
Okay, interesting. No. Okay, to be fair, so that let me defend the South Africans a bit. But it's tough defending South Africans when it comes to how they treat foreigners. It's really tough, really. I said it at the beginning of this live that I find it even easier speaking with the white South Africans than the black South Africans, right? I was at the mall and I was trying to talk to a South African, and the next thing she was, "Do you have an ID?" Meaning that you're not South African. And I was thinking to myself like, okay. So Simba just confirmed to us that our relationship with Nigeria started January 2017. That's just 4 years ago, right? And she's done a lot of things in Nigeria. She's been subsumed into the system in Nigeria. She has even actually she redesigned the school.
At a
She
hospital.
designed a school and
At
an
a hospital.
hospital in Nigeria, right? That tells you a lot. 4 years, right? And she's literally part of the system. She's part of our people, right? Literally everybody knows who Simba is in Nigeria these days. So what that tells you is about how Nigerians are hospitable. I've been coming to South Africa since the 2010 World Cup, and I can't say the same thing for South Africa. And it's just what it is. And hopefully,
Well,
maybe the South
well,
Africans on this live
I
will
disagree
start,
with you
you
because you
know,
know why, ne? Let me also explain it to you. You guys are aggressive by nature. Like you guys are like, "Arr!" You understand? And I'll also make an example. In a lot of people that are from the Eastern Cape, I'll make an example like people from the Eastern Cape. Do you know that in the Eastern Cape, there's so many Ghanaians, because I always say Ghanaians in the Eastern Cape. Most of them, they grew up there, and they will say something completely different in terms of hospitality, in terms of how they are treated. It's very unfortunate that some, not all Nigerians, some Nigerians, they get to South Africa and they have a bad experience. And the bad experience also comes across on how you speak, your mannerism.
I
Remember,
agree. I
you
agree.
guys did say we come from different cultures. So for us, when Nigerian like, oh man, and you'll be like
Your
speaking
iPhone
like,
charger?
and then someone will be like, damn, this person is rude. Why are they speaking to me like this?
Listen,
Do you
listen.
understand? Because some
That
people don't understand that.
Thank you so much. Listen, I totally agree with you. Let me tell you this. That is the reason why I know my experience in South Africa wasn't just an experience. Because what I like to do is I like to make everyone feel comfortable. I want everybody to be happy. I want it to be sweet because I know that there is something that someone can do for me somewhere. So I approach every equation, every situation diplomatically. Everything is strategic with me. So when I go somewhere and I see a common occurrence with a certain type of mannerism, attitudes, etc., I know it's not my mannerism because I'm giving you all of the honey.
I get
yo,
you.
yo, yo, it's what it is. I can't argue much with that. But just like you said, maybe there's one or two lessons we can learn in terms of mannerisms, in terms of the way we speak. Maybe so. Maybe the Nigerians on this live are gonna pick that.
When I
And
first came to Nigeria, I'm sorry, host. When I first came to Nigeria, I was like, whoa. Now, I've always been outspoken. I've always been bold. I've always been totally confident. But the situation of nobody is more forward than a Nigerian. Like, it's like, whoa. So that only increased mine. My girlfriends now, they're like, I can't
Yeah.
handle you. I can't handle you. I'm like, good, you can't handle me. Stay away. Don't ask me for no money. Please, I beg. But what I'm saying is, it everything that the Nigerian has that you would say needs to be dumbed down, anybody that goes there, they get that little piece that they need. So it's about finding balance, but without taking away from your authenticity.
Of course. Of course.
Because if Nigerians weren't as bold as they were, as thing as they were, guess what? South African men would love them as much as the women do. I said it.
oh, so you know,
Let me sip my tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, got you.
You know, a quick question though, Simba. When you first came, and you made comments on social media. I see some people attack you, call you names. It's reduced now, right?
Um, yeah. I don't know. You know what? Unlike most people, I'm here for the comments. I'm here for the banter. I'm here for the all the things that you gotta say. I ain't gonna lie. I sit in my bed and when I tell you I be cracking up. Sometimes I call my friends on three-way. I'm like, girl, go on this page, look at this one. Because for me, it's not what you say. It's when you stop saying it. Because there's gonna be a day when Simba Shine is no longer gonna be here. Don't worry, I'm gonna be here for a long time. But the day that they stop talking about me is the day that I went wrong somewhere. Or I turned 92, because that's when I'm going to stop shooting on you bitches. Wait,
Yeah.
can I tell you what somebody said to me? I won't tell you who he
Yeah.
is, but he's very famous. Everybody in Nigeria knows him. In fact, everybody in Africa knows him, actually. He said to me, yo, Simba, why is it that you seem to remain relevant? Like, so many girls come in and out of Nigeria. They're back and forth, they this and that. After 2 years, they're done. They're finished. They're washed. There's certain things that you can't buy. You can't buy je ne sais quoi. You can't buy swag. You can't buy great pussy. Well, you can, but you can't buy. What I'm saying is, there are certain things that I possess that sometimes you don't even get it on the social media. It's when people meet me, it's when I sign the deals, it's when I get the things done because they realize that it's more than just the twerking. Social media is only what I give you. I give you guys less. I don't even post. Go on my page, look how much I post. I don't even post like that. I give you less than 5% of who I am. But the second you meet me, that's when the deals get signed. Because they're like, oh, wait, there's so much more? Yeah, there's so much more. You ready for it? Because I got all day to give it to you for a fee.
So Simba, you should be. What's your plan to be? I think we should Nigerianize it. It's about time we
I
make
think so.
you.
Who's going to call Dangote right now? Call him.
Like, we should get married to a Nigerian and then give
I'm
you.
waiting. I'm waiting for Dangote. He's taking too long.
Dangote.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, but you said, at the time you said Dangote was so difficult to reach, you were going to settle for, was it Burna Boy?
Who?
Burna Boy.
Oh, no.
I read your interview.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not it. There's so many
Okay,
better. Trust me.
just joking.
Trust me.
Okay, so your flight is back to Nigeria, right? You're coming back to Nigeria, right?
Yes, I'm coming back. Hold on, I'm in the lounge enjoying life
Okay.
because this is where you bag the niggas. After I get off this phone, y'all taking up soup jump to my twine. I need to go bag 4 niggas. Hello.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, no was saying alrighty.
Yeah, I'm
So,
about to leave as well.
oh, you want to leave?
Yeah, I think we died. Are we not?
Yeah,
Sis,
I think.
wait, sis, when are you coming to Nigeria?
When are you guys inviting me to Nigeria? I'm gonna come through.
Okay,
If
we'll
I
talk
invite
about
you, I'm
it.
kidnapping you. You can't do anything on your own. You can't use the bathroom on your own. I will wait for you.
Yeah, okay. I will definitely come.
Good,
Okay. Okay.
good,
Alrighty.
good.
Bye, guys. This was
Alrighty.
nice.
Bye, sis.
Simba, do we have one other person that wants to join this live before we go? Or Simba, how many hours before your flight?
It's actually in an hour, and I'm gonna need about 20 minutes per class.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm giving you 5 more minutes. Five
Okay,
more minutes.
5 minutes.
One, two, three,
Good,
four,
good,
five.
good. So I think I have just time to take one more person on the live. So if you want to join this live briefly, just send me a request ASAP. Um, so tell me, what's your plan? What's your plan, Simba? What's the next plan in the Nigeria? What's the next big thing we should hear from you, if you want to share?
Honestly, my plans come like this. I'm not a planner because anytime I plan, nothing goes right. So I didn't get to finish a few elements on the school and the hospital. So that's my plan. My plan is the money I make in December is so I want to put air conditioning in the school. I know it might be a lot to do, not a lot as far as the money to put out, but it might be a lot for the school to maintain. So I'm trying to figure out a way where I can do both.
Okay.
But that's the plan because if I was in a school and I was a kid and my mom sent me to school, guess what? I want air conditioning. So we're gonna see about trying to make that happen. We need a refrigerator. We need a stove for the hospital. So there's little things. What I think I might do is put together a little video, so I can post it on my
Yeah.
page, and those who wanna
Yeah.
donate, they
Sure.
can.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to donate money. You can actually donate the item. If you want to donate a fridge, here's where the fridges are. You can go right there because I don't
Okay.
mind not having to take that extra step of having to go buy it.
Okay.
But
So
if you can, fine. Outside of that, I'm going to Ghana for the year to return this year. I'm hoping that I can work with some people on the tourism board to really get some things done and cracking because it's been far too long that Ghana is the chosen place over Nigeria because it's not worthy of it in real life.
really,
So I'm hoping that I can do some of my own groundwork things, not necessarily to make money through the tourism board because I'm gonna make my money. But I feel like what I can do to help my people realize that they need to be in Nigeria, and it's not a competition between Ghana and Nigeria either. But if you're gonna come, do it the right way. So you come to Nigeria first, experience the real home, and then you go to the next home. Go to your next
exactly.
home.
Yeah. So two questions quickly. So we have somebody that said that, Simba, can we see your outfit? Looks good, by the way.
Oh my God, I have on a dress.
Yeah.
Hold on, y'all are so. I always want to see body yachting.
So nice outfit. Nice outfit.
I like to travel comfortable.
Yeah, you should.
I
You
love to
should.
travel with dresses that when you walk, your ass shakes, so the guys would be like, "Whoa."
Nice. Actually, I like the outfit as well. So I have another comment here. How do you travel safe as a female? Well, how do you ensure you travel? Safety travel tips.
Well, number one, I always choose a reputable hotel. I don't You pay for what you get. So that doesn't mean that I get the most expensive hotel in the country that I'm staying in. But I read reviews and I always have a contact person in every country I go to. Now that I've been coming to Africa, I have contact people in almost every single country. So before I go somewhere, I've already connected with somebody. There's somebody already coming to get me from the airport, this, that, and the third. And and then I have some sort of support system when I'm there. A travel guide, someone to just, give me the proper directions, instructions, etc. So that's a good tip. Try to see if you can find somebody there, and don't find someone online that you don't know who you now know. A trusted resource, a trusted person. That doesn't mean that that's always going to work, but you got to use something. You got to go with something. I always, if I'm going somewhere for the first time too, I try to stay at an American-based hotel for the first 2 or 3 nights, so I can
Yeah.
know for sure I'm good to go. Then you'll meet people and you'll go from there. But I feel like I have a very good judge of character, so that helps me as well. Like I can spot a scammer in 2.2 seconds. I'm like, listen, I'm a scammer, so you can't scam me. You can't scam the scammer.
You can
So keep it moving. Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
so I'm going to. I know you have to run off. So thank you so much, Simba. Thank you for
Thank
finding time
you.
to join us. In between flights.
Please send me this video because I want to post I'm gonna
I
post a bit
will.
of it
I
on my
will
page.
send it to you afterwards. Thank you so much. I'll just stop the live at this point. Thank you and
Bye
have a safe
guys.
evening.
I hope everybody enjoyed this live, and
Yeah.
I'll be posting way more. I'll be in Nigeria. When I'm in Nigeria, I feel like I'm at home. I'll be posting more. Fuck America. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Cheers. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.